Free beer and hot wings in the morning. Grand Rapids rocks all day. 97.9 GRD rocks.
Partly cloudy, mild today. Very warm for this time of year, especially 73, 74 degrees. About 72 downtown GR.
Oh, it's so awesome.
I'm so glad I moved here.
What is the weather at home right now?
50 degrees this morning when it was 72 here.
Yeah. Now, you realize you fast forward in January, it'll still be like 40, 45? No?
I brought the heat.
You brought the heat.
You think it's going to stay? You think we're done with harsh winters in the upper Midwest now?
I appreciate that.
Great.
Yeah,
Positive
that's
thinking.
Good.
Oh, well, that's all it takes.
I mean, I don't know. The ski hills aren't going to appreciate that.
Yeah.
But.
Oh, they can make snow.
Now,
1 or 2.
It felt great this morning when I walked out of the house. Is it as humid now, since we haven't been outside, as it was yesterday?
I don't know what the humidity
I don't think
is
so.
right
I think
now.
it was the most humid day of the year. It felt so disgusting.
Well, all day yesterday, it was wet feeling.
Ugh.
I mean, it was a very high humidity. And it seemed like, even though I could look at the radar and go, well, it's not going to rain, but God, it sure feels like it's about to.
That was so gross all
I went
day.
out and mowed the lawn, and I go, like, I kept waiting for all of a sudden to start feeling sprinkles or light rain because it just had that look and feel to it. But yeah, it never happened.
Joe, the humidity right now is around 77%. It's going to dip down to 71% towards this afternoon.
It's a little
but
high.
then going to go back up into the mid-90s by tomorrow morning.
It's a little high. Oh, good. But that'll be good humidity, though, because then it'll be colder, and it won't in any way just feel damp.
Yeah. Right.
You're right.
Yeah.
So this isn't common, you're telling me.
This is not common.
no.
It's not unheard of, but it's not common.
What's it normally right now in October?
Like
60.
It's chilly.
Yeah,
The
upper
leaves
50s,
are-
something like that.
The leaves are a little, I feel like the leaves are more changed by this point. Have changed.
It's
colors.
definitely like a week and a half to 2
Yeah,
weeks behind.
It's a little
Yeah.
later, yeah. It's
Even
been
like in
warmer.
Wisconsin, like driving from Green Bay to Madison, or even when we were driving Friday night, there were plenty of areas where the trees were almost bare.
Really?
Whereas
That's
here,
usually
there's
what it is.
still hanging on.
Yeah, it's been a great year.
It has.
The whole year has been good. Even last winter wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, but based on that, though, a lot of people would go, well, we're due.
Boy, what a
like for one of those good 2-footer. It's been a while since we had a good 2-footer.
It has.
You know?
Luckily, that's not how weather works. We might have a bad winter, but
But we might not. It
It's
might be
not
a
like,
nice,
oh, you've
mild
had
one.
3. Now it's time for God to crush you.
No, you really just don't know.
time to
Yeah.
teach you a lesson.
Yeah.
Smart
you
ass.
don't know.
This story yesterday where that rock flew through a guy's windshield, a 48-year-old man was driving. He's from Grand Rapids on Turner Street Northwest. An 11-pound, 8-inch by 7-inch rock fell off a semi and went through his windshield and hit him in the head. He was in critical condition.
Oh, my God. Are you
serious
serious?
condition.
I really didn't. I thought it just hit his windshield, and then he wrecked his car. I didn't realize
No, it came through and
he did
it
also
got him.
his car,
injured him.
Yeah.
the actual rock. Oh,
Police,
that's terrible.
From a security camera, they have a photo, albeit a bit grainy, of a white semi-truck pulling a black dump trailer.
Now, I
It
wonder.
was going south on Turner Avenue.
I wonder if the driver has any idea that he was the cause of that.
Right.
Well, at this point, you probably think I was going down Turner. My God, that could have been me. But at first, I'll bet he had no idea.
Right.
Oh, probably not. I mean, if you're driving a big truck,
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have, unless you just happened at that very moment see the car in your rearview mirror take a careening right into a tree or
And
a
you
building.
see
or
your
whatever.
boulder in the car.
But,
Yeah.
You know.
You get there and you count the rocks. Oh, we're missing one.
Oh,
I don't think that's how it goes.
charge that guy.
Walker police are looking for that guy, though. Or for that company, that truck.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, how the responsibility works out.
I don't think
No, I
it would
think-
be his
I
responsibility.
think it would be his responsibility.
Would it be his job
It
to tie
depends.
the load down?
It
or-
depends on if it was something that was in the road and his vehicle kicked it up, then that would be different than if it fell off.
But even if it did fall off,
You're
I mean,
responsible.
the driver? Don't you just pick up loads and take it places? Or?
I'm responsible for stuff that flies out of the back of my own pickup truck.
That's a little different
No,
than picking
but
up
it's
a tractor
right.
trailer.
But
Are you
it's
driving
not.
that truck for a company?
But it's not. It's absolutely not. I mean,
I don't know.
You would be
You're saying it
responsible.
definitively, but that that guy may have just backed his picked it up and then they go.
But
I don't know how trucking works.
It's their responsibility to check the load that they've got. It's no different than people doing inspections on airplanes before they get into it and fly it and anything else. I mean, you're still ultimately responsible. Your signature goes on it.
Yeah, maybe.
You picked it up. You got to make sure that stuff's strapped down the right way.
I will say maybe. I don't know.
Well, maybe is the right answer.
You
Because
sound right.
the two of you have an equal amount of don't know for sure.
Yes.
Oh, I do know for sure. I'll stick by it until I'm told that I'm wrong, and then I'll go, crap.
Just like you read like the CDL handbook?
Yeah.
No, but I've heard of that happening before, and then ultimately it's the responsibility of whoever is driving the vehicle.
Can you cite your reference?
Right off the top of my head? No, that would be difficult for me to do. I wouldn't be able to do that.
You wouldn't get this in a Wikipedia article
I
any day.
I wouldn't be able to cite, certain sections of the law in a court of law off the top of my head.
But certainly an instance, like roughly, like where a driver was prosecuted for something that flew off their truck.
Yeah, that was like 1991. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a specific example.
Meanwhile, residents in Holland are upset about what is a luxury being installed in their sidewalks. At least that's the way it seems.
It's a boondoggle.
Sidewalks in Holland are nearing completion, but it's not something that everyone is warming up to there. Some homeowners are expressing frustration about having to pay the yearly maintenance fees to have them.
It's always about the money, isn't it? Fox 17's Michael Dupre.
Well, yes, it usually is. It is often about money.
Unless these are made out of babies, then it's going to be about money.
It's always about the money.
Down exactly what's going on with this.
Well, Christian, Janice, the snow melt sidewalks that we're talking about are on Central Avenue from 12th to 21st Street, and they were approved more than a year ago and should make life a lot easier during the winter. But who should pay for their maintenance is brewing some concern in Holland.
The sign says,
they're maintenance free forever.
Yes. Like most things, free.
They're perfect.
Closed, but it will soon be open and melting snow for the winter.
This year we have added 25 residents to the snow melt system.
For just $25 million.
Central Avenue from 12th to 21st Streets.
Well, I think it's a real asset. There are a lot of people in this neighborhood that walk to the various businesses.
A lot of people don't have to be shoveling the sidewalks. Makes it a lot easier for the mailman as well.
Making things easier, but that convenience comes at a cost.
Both the city and the residents had to come to an understanding of how it was actually going to be paid for.
The Downtown Development Authority for the city of Holland.
Did they come to an understanding? Did the city tell them how it was going to be paid for?
That's
and the
exactly
said,
what.
Okay.
Yep, sounds great.
They want to be fair.
And the council came to the conclusion for this year and the next 3 years to assess them only on the driveway approaches.
So, residents will not have to pay for the sidewalk unless their driveway crosses them. Then they have to pay 42 cents per square foot on their driveway approaches.
It probably averages down for those 25 properties to about $100, but there's some that are as low as $30, some that'll go up to $200.
One homeowner.
And that's for the whole year?
Yeah.
Is that what they said?
Didn't want his identity revealed, is paying close to $200 a year.
I wish we would have had a choice. Ours works out to about $160. It would have been nice.
I would want to have a choice too, because for about $200, you could have your entire driveway plowed every time it snowed.
Yeah.
As opposed to just that little tiny section of crossed sidewalk.
And then you still have to go out with a snowblower or somebody to plow it the rest of the time.
Yeah.
More to be, a little bit more upfront, and they'll have show a little bit more transparency. I think that's for my wife and I. That's and I think as neighbors are just sharing.
Well, yeah, because it sounds fairly arbitrary.
Yeah. Well, it's by how big your driveway is.
That they just went, for this year, we've decided that it will be X number of dollars per square foot. But that can change at any given time.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not set in stone. Like, if I'm going to approve that, I want to know what it is. It's kind of like when you have a millage and you go, okay, I am approving, and I know that for the next 10 years, I'm adding an additional $1 for every 1,000 or whatever. Like it's at least a definitive number for your taxes. But with this, if it's just like a sliding scale, this year it was this, so now this year it's going to be $800.
Yeah, you know how the hot water prices went up this year.
Like, do you get to just shut it off then and go, well, I don't want it then?
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing you can't.
No, definitely not.
The thing that we're dealing with.
Other residents sharing frustration for those operating and maintenance fees.
The only thing I don't agree with is they want to assess property owners, and I think because everybody uses it, it should come out of the general tax fund.
Agreed.
The landlords are getting charged for the owners.
Oh, yeah, that's a valid point.
Everyone uses those.
Yeah.
I don't have to make. I don't have sidewalks, but in a city, you don't have to maintain your sidewalk. You have to shovel it. But if it cracks, then the city replaces that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Usually not in a timely manner, but they do.
Yeah.
These are neat and everything. It looks cool.
Where does it end, though?
And I would love to have a driveway that had that. And I know they've got those sidewalks down in front of the Amway.
And
too,
Van Andel, yeah.
which is cool. But for like a regular public sidewalk, it seems to me like it would be far cheaper to put in a normal sidewalk and then just get one of those little tractors that has the big brush on the front and drive it around the whole city. It would probably be cheaper than, because then once these crack, a tree root cracks it or whatever, now you've got to replace the concrete. It's got all those pipes in there.
The radiant heat.
Yeah, it looks like like they're using PEX, which is expensive. All the brass fittings, nozzles, all that. So then all that's got to be replaced.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
I don't know where. Well, so where does it end? They're going into a little bit of residential neighborhood.
I think that's all. That's all
That's
money
all
have.
they're doing.
Yeah.
Then
I think that they're out of money.
okay,
For the install.
I get a downtown, and I'd be happy to pay for downtown if everyone chipped in. I mean, a lot of people use our downtown.
Yeah.
Of course, I would want all the other suburbs to pay for the downtown too. Then
I don't think that's going to fly.
no.
it's not, but it should.
See, yeah.
But what about the businesses that have a direct benefit?
Yeah, they pay city taxes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, in those cases, yeah, to me, you should tax the business owners. Like, put it up for a vote.
Yeah.
Just like you would anything else.
Well, they would benefit most.
And then, yeah, because they would benefit the most because it's going to help their traffic. And now they're also not responsible for making sure that the sidewalks are clean in front of their business. And then you don't have to worry about a slip and fall or anything like that. So it's all good. And if a business wants to do that, you know, and like Amway's got a really big sidewalk out in front of theirs because that's how they designed it. And if they want to play,
it's worth it for them.
They say, okay, each, you know, for square foot, it's going to be, $10 per square foot or whatever, and they go, well, this is important to us, and we're going to do. We agree, and everybody else checks off on that. Well, then great.
Yeah,
I think it'd be great, but that's expensive.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all nice, but God, we've got so many infrastructure problems. It seems like it could be utilized in a different way. I know some of these it was taken care of with federal money. Where you go, yeah, okay, even then. I do think there are bigger fish to fry. Can't our federal dollars be used in a more effective, bigger picture way? Than
like nicer green space, more green space? Yeah. I don't go dance on those sidewalks and go, woohoo, this is a ball.
No.
But I might use a park
think
this is what makes this area nice.
Yeah, there's already an expectation the sidewalk would be clear.
Yeah.
I don't care what means they get to doing it. I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay
if you
for
have a
it
sidewalk,
because,
you have to clear it.
Yeah, flick a couple of dollars to a kid in wooden shoes and have him go out there and sweep it. I don't care.
Yeah.
It could be a kid with regular shoes. He doesn't have to be some
but
Dutch
I mean, it's
import.
Holland. It's Holland, though. You want to maintain the facade.
Yeah. Put a tulip dress on and get out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There's not a painter in that town with normal shoes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, have him hop down off of his swing. You don't paint in the wintertime anyway. Yeah. That's when the Dutch boy sweeps the sidewalks.
All right,
slap that terrible windmill cookie out of his face. Send him to work.
Let's get the rest here.
We are getting charged a lot of extra money as far as taxes go, and I think there's some frustration, understandable frustration with that. As far as the money goes, it's not something that they asked for.
But the city is hoping the benefits will outweigh the concerns.
They won't.
I think the true test will come after they have a couple of winters with the snow melt.
Now, Holland's Downtown Development Authority
and
says
look at how much people will enjoy this half a block.
I know. That's
Won't
the
it
funny.
Be great?
In my mind, it's so funny picturing downtown is clear, and then like 3 blocks out is clear, and then it's just normal sidewalks.
And then all of a sudden it ends and it's a foot of snow.
Yeah.
The lucky person is the person who's one house beyond, because they can walk downtown on a clear, warm sidewalk and then go back to their ice farm.
Yep.
Winter arrives, and this Wednesday will be the 4th public hearing on the assessment process for the operation and maintenance of the heated sidewalks. So anyone with concerns can go there and make their voices heard and speak out about the whole thing.
But you should have done so a lot earlier than
the
now.
Construction is already mostly done.
Yeah, and they're wrapping it up for the winter.
Well, there you have it. I'm sure people will work it out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Everybody will be happy
there, so it's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
It's always about the money, isn't it?
I use the sidewalks.
Yeah, pretty much.
I like to go to Holland and enjoy your sidewalks tax-free.
That's my favorite sidewalk city.
I'm going to go there in the winter and lay down just for the warmth.
Me too.
STP Plush. 97.9 GRD Rocks.